Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Ty Capone. We are here to talk about UFC Vegas. I don't even know what number it is. At the Apex. 90? Is it? I probably have it in the book here. I haven't been taking notes recently, so it's, I got to get back on the horse. Got to figure out what's 90. Going on. It's 90? There you go. UFC Vegas 90. Brendan Allen versus, my voice almost cracked there. It kind of did, but it did not, against Chris Curtis. We're going to get right into it. Ty, you're feeling good? I assume you are always feeling good when you are living down in the Sunshine State.
Yeah, I am feeling good. This weekend, whatever, it's happening. We're going to get some fights. Hopefully it's better than last weekend, because that was just, who knows what was in the air in Atlantic City. I think we have an idea of what was in the air, but let's see. Do we have any refs? Do we know the refs for this card? We do not yet. So hopefully it's always something.
Hopefully Gary Copeland's back at his job as a sheriff or whatever it is that he does on the side. I hope I don't ever see him.
Bondsman.
Yeah. You look his picture up. It's just him with him with a tight shirt, and he's like a cop or something like that. He's got something going on. But
yeah, don't we all?
Ty, this is kind of an appetizer, and a shitty one at that, to get us ready for UFC 300, which is next week. You're coming up for it. It's going to be a spectacle.
Yes, sir. The boys are going to be buzzing.
It's going to be a hell of a night. We're going to have a full preview episode to kind of give the people what they want, give everybody what they want, give the picks, predictions, bets, thoughts, information, everything you could imagine heading into it. Did you watch any of the PFL last night?
I saw some highlights, some I don't know.
Not really. I watched.
I browsed.
Who cares?
Yeah, I browsed over that chick. I will say, Dakota Dacheva. She seems like she could be a star potentially. She talked some shit. She said they asked her about Tyler Santos. She's like, didn't she just lose to Erin Blanchfield? I was like, whoa, shots fired, Erin Blanchfield. Now we're just throwing her under the bus. Hey, when you throw up a stinker, that's going to happen. So she looked good. Liz Carmouche beat Juliana Velasquez for the 15th time. Moldavsky looks like a fucking killer. It's crazy. It's crazy to look back that Moldavsky got smoked into oblivion by Linton Vassell, who also got his ass smoked by Dennis Goltsoff on this card. So, just kind of rearranging the heavyweight division. It seemed like Daniel James beat the fuck out of Marcelo Colm. Blago Ivanov made his not his debut, but he lost. So that's no surprise there. Oleg Popov got a nice crucifix finish. So the heavyweights were just swinging and banging each other last night. Nice. It seemed like
no pause on that either. Swinging and banging.
Shanna Young lost. I know you had a money line play on her. Shanna Young, another L, unfortunately.
Another dominant Liz Carmouche victory. That's all that really mattered to me.
So yeah.
How about we get right into it? Brendan Allen, Chris Curtis, the main event of this card. Minus 225 for Brendan Allen. The action man, Chris Curtis, is at plus 180. Ty, I think that's interesting that he's that much of an underdog. I know it's Chris Curtis, and you don't really know what version of him is going to show up. Brendan Allen, I assume, is going to be trying to push the takedowns and probably get a lot of action off, on the ground. I can't imagine he's going to want to stand and trade with Chris Curtis on the feet. I'm sure he could probably survive and do okay. But Chris Curtis only has 3 submissions on his record. He has 1 submission loss. Seems like it's not exactly his forte or something that he likes to do. Brendan Allen has 14 submission victories to his record. Ty, right away, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is going to be a one-sided thing? Do you think the odds are correct? What would your pick be?
I would probably pick Allen. I think he's made improvements since their first fight. I think Curtis is kind of on his way out. It's just Brendan Allen's tough to bet on, man. He's high upside if he goes to the ground, or even if he can hurt Chris Curtis, or just get in a dominant position, because I think it's over from there. He has a strong body lock, amazing top control, just crazy pressure.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't have that rear naked choke in, it's it's wearing down on you, and it's pretty much over from them once you get your back. But the problem is he fights like an idiot sometimes, man.
Yeah.
So as you'll remember, he fought Sean Strickland, got finished, and then he fought Chris Curtis, and Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland are teammates. During that first Curtis fight, Sean Strickland was talking shit in the corner, and I think that got to Brendan Allen. I think he wanted to prove a point and try to stand and strike, and that didn't go well for him. So, he has his flaws. He's not very technical. He's not very sexy, but his game works very well, and I think he has made improvements. Now, I don't know if he'll get to the level that he needs to be, but middleweight is a very weird division, very just average division. So I haven't forgot about the time Sam Alvey and Bruno Silva were doing well against Brendan Allen, backing him up against the cage and hitting him with some shots. But I think he is kind of a head case, makes mistakes, but this is kind of this is it. This is really a big prove it spot for Brendan Allen.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get it done. I think there's somehow or some way he's going to get a clinch or a trip or maybe Chris Curtis slips something, and I think he's going to stick to him, and I think he's going to get this rear naked choke. So I'm not going to bet. I wouldn't bet it because this is a big number, man, and I think Chris Curtis's takedown defense is so good. And he's got that just pocket boxing, that jab, that cardio. Also, 7 of the last 11 main event underdogs have won. Just something to keep an eye out for. So I'm probably going to stay away, but I think I would lean Brendan Allen. I keep saying Chris. Lean Brendan Allen. I do like Brendan Allen. I do like his just relentlessness on the ground, but we'll see if he can get it there.
I'd probably bet Brendan Allen's submission or inside the distance of some way, but I don't trust it enough, and I'm not going to take it. I am in agreement with you. I don't trust either one of these guys to show up and do the thing that I want them to do or think that they're capable of doing. Yeah, I'm still mad at Chris Curtis over that Gastelum fight. I still thought he could have won that fight, and he kind of just was giving minutes away, and he just does stuff like that sometimes. And I could see this fight being a split decision. He almost lost on Marc-Andre Barriault. So you just don't – he's not trustworthy. Neither is Brendan Allen, and Brendan Allen showed you when he lost to Chris Curtis the first time around. He's been on a heater ever since. Tons of rear naked chokes, tons of work on the ground, dominating black belts like Andre Muniz and Paul Craig, and comporting himself somewhat well against Bruno Silva, who just got his eyes poked into the back of his head. But I don't trust him. I don't trust either one of these guys. So I, as well, am staying away, Ty. Alexander Hernandez. It's very rare that we both stay away from a main event, but this is just. I think we've learned from watching these doo-doo cards that it's just, we're gonna lose or win enough money next week. So why don't we just save a lot of our picks for next week? I would tell everyone ahead of time. Honestly. I wish I would have said at the beginning this one. Really, just don't bet this card. I would. Unless I'll be doing something in the afternoon, so I don't really. If I'm bored though, I probably would be sitting at home and betting this. So how about Alexander Hernandez, Alexander the Great against Damon Jackson in a what is this 145 or are they at 155?
Well, he missed weight, so
of course. Well, I don't
it was supposed to be 145. He weighed in at 150.
Are they still going to have the fight?
It seems like so. The Cynthia Calvillo fight is off. Thank God. Nora Cornholio missed weight, but also so did Miss Mullins. They both missed weight.
Nice.
By the same amount. So
what a joke.
Hopefully Hernandez, the fight's still going on. I mean, it's a co-main event. I mean, I don't know how or why, but it is. So, and honestly, I would probably take Damon Jackson here. I think if after one round, shit gets sketchy with Alexander Hernandez all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back and look at it. Losing to Bill Algeo, decision, easily. Billy Q smoked him in the second. Renato Moicano smoked him in the second. Thiago Moises beat him all 3 rounds. Drew Dober smoked him in the second. Donald Cerrone smoked him in the second. It just gets sketchy. I mean, even when he fought OAM, it got sketchy. So, and Chris Gretzmacher, not Chris Gretzmacher, he smoked Chris Gretzmacher. I'm thinking of Jim Miller. So, I don't know. I don't know about either of them. Damon Jackson's been knocked out brutally many times.
Yeah.
But the Leech, his nickname, he wants to stick to you on the mat. Sometimes he tries to brawl, but that grapple heavy approach, I think, is going to win him this fight. I'm thinking about taking a shot on him now. Hernandez missing weight. I don't know. Guys who miss weight usually win, but I don't know. Hernandez, I think he's going to look great in that first round, and he might bloody up Damon Jackson, but after that, it's going to get sketchy. So I might take a shot on Damon Jackson, your money line, or sub.
I am going to take. I'm glad you just gave me that segue. I am taking Damon Jackson submission plus 480. That number is too high. I think Alexander Hernandez. The thing that does worry me is that he's 5 pounds over, like that he didn't even try to really get down to 45. He kind of just said, fuck it, and just mailed it in halfway through this weight cut. I wish he would have gotten maybe closer. I'd feel more confident that he's going to gas himself out, but even when he was at 55 and when he's in good shape, he gasses out. So I think if Jackson can survive the first 2 to 3 minutes, I think this is a win. I don't know how he gets it done. I'm hoping that it's a submission victory, and I think Jackson, like you said, a grapple-heavy approach. Maybe it's a TKO on the ground, but I'm going to count on Jackson getting that submission victory, so I'm going to go Jackson plus 480 submission.
I like it.
Are you staying away?
I'm gonna follow you.
Oh, wow. See, I was waiting to see what you were going to do there. I thought you were pondering.
I was pondering.
Hey, nothing wrong with pondering every once in a while. Got to ponder to make sure you keep life in perspective. Now we keep it moving, Ty. There you go. I'm giving people words of wisdom, all sorts of stuff throughout this episode. Morgan Charrier, your boy, the French icon. He's getting in there against my boy now, which I've claimed this man. Chepe Mariscal. This guy is a fucking savage. I love this guy. Just the way he fights the machine gun, Chepe Mariscal, to all the haters. He destroyed Jack Jenkins' arm in the last fight, which he was beating Jack Jenkins anyway, and he survived the storm that is Trevor Peek in his first 2 fights. This fight is where? Is it at 45, I think?
I believe so, yep.
It is at 45. I like him at 45. I think he fought Peek at 55 when he made that short notice fight. And then, kind of had to just survive that fight, like I said. But Morgan Charrier is a minus 120 favorite to Chepe Mariscal's plus 100. So it's kind of right down the middle, Ty. Do you think your boy Morgan Charrier gets it done?
Oh, I don't know, man. He fights on very thin margins. He, throws low volume. He's lost to some bad competition. Has some grappling, but doesn't really use it. He just keeps it close. Has that kickboxing style. He's kind of a front runner. I do like Chepe. This is a big moment for him. He's paid his dues. Probably has a cardio advantage, volume, and really the ruggedness that Chepe has is going to be key here. I think he might be able to edge out a victory. I'm going to stay away. I want to take Morgan Charrier, but I have a feeling he might lose a split decision that he should have won. So I'm going to stay away. This is going to be a good fight, though. It's going to be a dog fight. And honestly, it might come down to the 3rd round.
I'm going Chepe money line plus 100. Just a little flyer pick on this. I don't know how he gets it done. I think this could go to decision if I would bet that. Maybe a split. I think it's going to be really close. So, like you said, the thin margins, it could be something where Morgan maybe could have won or should have won, and you look back and you're like, oh man, he really left this or that or something out there. So I'm hoping for that. And Chepe, like you said, he's just a dog. It's gonna be hard to get him out of there. He's not gonna go away. I'm gonna count on him making this fight ugly and leaving with the W. So that's how we keep it moving to Christos Gallegos and Ignacio Bahamondes. I'm a little mad at La Jahula, something like that. Whatever. He's from Chile. Tell me whatever that means. He lost to Ludovic Klein the last time out. That was not a good. He kind of got dominated in that fight. He hasn't really finished anybody, it seems, since that. Well, it probably has, but it just that. Oh, that's right. He did choke wrong. So I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But before that was that wheel kick at the closing moments of the fight to finish off your boy Roosevelt Roberts. That was tough for the brand that night. Christos Gallegos is like the ultimate filler card guy that they just bring out when they need somebody to just get in there. They're like, have we called the Spartan recently? Let's get him back in there. He lost to Daniel Zellhuber in September. Got anaconda choke. Before that, knocked out Ricky Glenn. He just keeps himself around. The win against Sean Soriano before that was a while ago. But, I mean, they have him fighting Armin Sarukian and Thiago Moises. He doesn't
just look at his losses compared to his wins. Yeah. He loses to good fighters, he beats bums. So
I'm staying away from this one. This one, I don't like this because minus 350 is the line for Ignacio Bahamondes to a plus 275. That's too heavy of a number. I don't know if he actually gets Christos out of there. I don't trust him to do so, so I'm staying away.
Yeah, I got Bahamondes inside the distance minus 125.
Oh, wow, okay. You really think he's just going to style on him and get him out of there?
I mean, Yagos has been subbed 6 times. Bahamondes has some very good front chokes, has the long arms. So, yeah, I think he can get it done.
Bahamondes inside the distance minus 110. So you're getting a little extra for a little bang for your buck, as some would say.
Bang my buck, dude.
Bang my buck. Please bang my buck, Daddy. Okay, now let's keep it moving.
Hold on. Speaking of Daddy.
Lucas Brzeski's not my daddy, but he's somebody's out there. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably.
Volter. Don't call me Voltron Walker. The clean monster, Johnny Walker's brother, is making finally, as we've talked about on this podcast so many times, his UFC debut. How excited are you for this, Ty? Volter Walker is a minus 225 favorite to Lucas Brzeski. The last time we saw Mr. Brzeski out here, it was a rough time, right? Am I wrong in that? Was he doing the chicken dance?
It's been a rough time.
He was doing yes, it was. Waldo Cortez Acosta. He was doing a really bad chicken dance. He do 2 decisions before that. So I think I took decision in that.
Apparently got robbed versus Martin Budai, but I think he just lost to a trash fighter, or at least he was in a close fight with a trash fighter. And then he gets taken down 8 times by Carl Williams. Gets dropped by Carl Williams also. I think Volter Walker wins by probably TKO. I got him inside the distance. Now, he's not the same fighter as his brother. He's not as athletic or explosive, but he's more of a wrestler. He's more of a grinder, which is kind of interesting. Also has a pretty decent overseas strength of schedule. Good takedowns, and Lucas Brzeski, what can he not do? Defend a takedown. So I think this is easy, Volter Walker, unless he just wants to prove a point and stand and strike, which maybe he can do. I mean, Lucas Brzeski usually outpaces guys on the feet, but even then, he falls apart. So I got Volter Walker inside the distance.
It seems like durability has always been the issue with Brzeski. He just does not. I don't know. It just seems like this guy gets hit and he's like, okay, I'm all right. I mean, that Waldo Cortez Acosta, I can't get that image out of my head of him chicken dancing and then landing directly on top of his head. That was a rough way to go out for Mr. Brzeski. I am getting you a line for inside the distance. Walker inside the distance is plus 105. We are both taking that. So, Ty, we keep it moving to, I believe, is the Trevor Peak show next. Am I correct? My Tapology is having an absolute mental breakdown right now. So that's
as am I. But it is Trevor Peak and Charlie Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
This should be a banger. Somebody's getting knocked down or out, or maybe. Is this it? Do we get the double knockout?
Fight goes 1 round is probably the best bet here because somebody's going to sleep early on.
Somebody is going to sleep. Yeah. Who is it going to be?
I think I refuse to jump off of the Trevor Peak bandwagon. I know it's not smart, and this guy is some hillbilly that I just doesn't really use a lot of IQ when he fights. But I can't get that Chris Duncan just elimination out of my head from when Charlie Campbell made his Contender Series appearance. Then he shows up, and his only UFC win is against Alex Reyes, who hadn't fought in like 17 years and almost died before that. Come on. I'm not really putting much stock in that. Then for him, this is a big jump up to have him fight Trevor Peak, and he's the favorite. I don't know about all that. So I am going to take Trevor Peak TKO plus 235.
Wow, I like it. I'm going to take under 1.5 rounds minus 145. I don't know. I could see Campbell rocking Peak early and then Peak battles back. But if Campbell rocks him enough, I don't know if he'll be able to rebound from that. So just to play it safe, I think somebody dies early. How about that?
Jesus. So rest in peace to somebody early is the pick for Ty. Trevor Peak TKO is me. So yours is just under what?
1.5 rounds.
Under 1.5 rounds minus 140. So give me a second here. I'm going to let you lead us into this next one as I write all of this information
man.
down this banger of a pick.
Well, the next one. So we go from a 9-1 guy against an 8-2 guy to a 21-12 versus 23-9. Two legends of the sport at 170. We have Court McGee, the man who now talk about somebody dying in the ring. He has died, not in the ring, but he has died before and come back to life, which is crazy. There's only two fighters I know who have done that, and he fought the other one, Matt Brown, in his last fight, and he got knocked out bad. He's fighting Alex Morano. Alex Morano coming off that loss to Buckley. Before that, he beat Tim Means. Tim Means very old, and he put him out. I think I think that's what happens here. Honestly, dude, I think Alex Morano is going to smoke Court McGee in the first round. I think it's going to be bad. So I guess
Court McGee is super cooked. Cooked. That's all I have to say about this. And I'll pull the odds up for you. I have these up as well. Plus 250 for Court McGee, minus 300 for Alex Morano. I did not expect it to be that big of a favorite, but Morano inside the distance is plus 110. I think that's my pick.
I'm going to go Alex Morano, TKO round 1 plus 400.
Wow, you're going crazy.
Yeah, I'm going crazy specific. I think he does it. He hasn't done it in a little bit, but remember last time he did it to somebody, it was Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who was, like you said, at that time, washed.
Mega
cooked. Court McGee is mega fried. His last two fights have ended in the first. Right hook and left hook. So which hook's it going to be? We'll see.
So you're saying plus 400 is what you're getting at?
Plus 4, yep.
Plus 400. Maybe I'll get you a better number. But this whole thing is fucked up on my screen, so I don't know what's going on.
Struggling over there.
Yeah, this whole thing is just fucked. So, yeah, I'm going to go Morano inside the distance plus 110. I just think he finds a way to get this Cook gentleman out of there. I'm not exactly the biggest Morano fan. He's kind of like a technical – I could see him kind of getting into a kickboxing battle, but at some point he breathes on Court McGee and he goes to sleep. So I could see the TKO as well. How about we keep it moving? It is crazy how my computer and Tapology has melted down the farther we've gotten into this.
Well, next we have the people's main event.
Yeah.
Norma Sweet Cheeks Dumont is taking on Jermaine Durandamy. We haven't seen Jermaine Durandamy in like 45 years. I guess she had a kid.
She did.
Right? The last time we saw her, she choked out Juliana Pena. I mean, look at GDR's record. She choked out Juliana Pena. She knocked out Aspen Ladd in like 10 seconds. Beat Rocky Pennington. Beat Holly Holm. Has a knockout win over Larissa Pacheco.
It's been 4 years since we've seen her, though.
It has been 4 years. But she looks good. She made weight. She made weight easily at 135. She's a big lady. She also just had a child. She turns 40 later this year. So, which fade are you taking? Are you taking the pregnancy fade, or are you taking the OnlyFans fade with Norma Dumont? Me personally, I'm betting GDR money line.
Wait. Norma Dumont has an OnlyFans?
I believe so.
Yeah, give me Jermaine Durandamy money line plus 130. That's I think GDR is going to be smart. Has been smart about this and taking the proper amount of time off before coming back and actually fighting. Because I don't know when she had the kid, but it seems like it was a little bit ago, maybe at least a year. I don't know. I don't know exactly how long, but I usually am fade the pregnancy comeback. It's usually an automatic. GDR, I think she's just better than Norma Dumont. She wasn't a bum before she went away, and Norma is not, she's not exactly a 35er either, so she's big, but neither is Jermaine Durandamy. These are two big 35ers. I think it's a bad matchup for Norma.
Dumont being the favor over anybody gives me great pause. Losing to Macy Chatson, her last 3 wins, Chelsea Chandler, Carol Hosta, Danielle Wolf, have been like. Also, how did Danielle Wolf get a UFC contract?
Don't know, because the women's divisions up at the upper levels are so bad. They are so
fair enough
fighting for talent and just bodies to kind of get in there, warm bodies to come and fight. So you're going to go money line as well?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. Plus 130. You can get it at plus 110 on FanDuel and some of those places like that. But you're telling me that Cynthia Calvillo fight has been canceled, and it has.
It's off.
How about Pedro Falcao? Falcao? Who knows? I don't know. Victor Hugo. He's fighting that guy, too. I don't know either. These guys are both making the UFC debuts. I believe Falcao was on the Contender Series. No, he wasn't. No, he was a while ago.
Yeah, they both are. Victor Hugo recently, he had that knee bar against that guy with like a weird name, Caught or Torres Caught or whatever his name is. Falcao, yeah.
I'm staying away from this
man,
one.
he was on season 5. I got Falcao money line.
Wow.
I think he's more dangerous on the feet. I think he's got some subs. Victor Hugo seems like a leg lock guy, but also has some knockouts. He's on a nice little win streak. Falcao has beaten some pretty good. I think his last win was that fella Leonardo Morales, who was in the UFC for a couple fights. I believe he fought Yair Rodriguez way back in the day. Was also on the Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter Latin America Season 1. So, yeah, I got Falcao in this.
I am staying away. I think it's. I appreciate your pick. And I appreciate that you made a pick on this. How about Dan Argueta, former Ultimate Fighter contender or just competitor? I guess I should say, not really contender. I think he lost the first fight. But Gene Matsumoto, this is a guy you said is going to be the next Jose Aldo, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But you said trust me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. No,
Trust me, brother.
Trust me, brother. But in all seriousness, I almost just threw up again. But Casey Tanner is who he beat on the Contender Series in September. Ty, do you think, well, let me give you the line first, minus 160 for Mr. Matsumoto, a plus 130, 140 underdog for Dan Argueta. I like Dan Argueta, but I don't think that this is a spot where I would bet him because I think, if I remember correctly, Mr. Matsumoto was kind of nice. But what do I know?
Yeah. Also, Dan Argueta coming off 2 straight no contests, so maybe we get a third. I don't know.
I'm staying away from this.
Yeah, I think he probably wants to do what Casey Tanner did in that fight and get the fight to the ground. But Matsumoto's good, man. Matsumoto's very good. So I need to see a little bit more from him, from both of them, honestly. So I'm going to stay away from that as well. Maybe this is a fight where his O's got to go. I don't know if Argueta's that guy, though.
This is the one where Dan Argueta fought Ronnie Lawrence, and I think fucking Dick Mike Beltran stepped in and called the fight early or something.
Premature stoppage.
Yeah, what an asshole! That I remember he cost me money because he was literally going to tap him, and then he stopped it. He should have won that fight, but he didn't.
Yep.
And then Miles Johns, what was the deal there? What was that? Did somebody test positive or something?
I think Miles Johns pissed hot.
Okay, so hey, that happens. You know, sometimes you just got to take some shit to get you ready to go. But I would lean Dan Argueta. I really would. I think this is maybe a spot that he could eke out a decision victory, just find a way to win. Maybe let me see if I get good odds on this, I might take Argueta decision. Argueta by
you come out here and fucking flatline him.
Argueta by decision plus 245. I'm taking it.
That's not bad. It's not bad. Casey Tanner took a round from Matsumoto, so.
You know, now he's somebody's gonna get, like you said, somebody's gonna get flatlined just aggressively. Oh, he's having a seizure. I'll never forget when fucking DC was yelling at, like, come on. Oh, he's shaking. Like him and Rogan are like coming in their pants over some guy having a seizure. And I remember some guy commenting on the thing. It's like, you people need to understand that this is real, what happens in the cage. I'm like, yeah, bud, but I don't need them to talk about it every 5 seconds. No, they need to show the dirty side of MMA. I'm like, okay, bud. Why don't you go jerk off in the
dirty side of your ass,
buddy? Yeah, scumbag. Yeah. How about this? Daniel Budka, or Dylan, not Daniel, Dylan Budka against Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida, I'm trying to remember his Contender Series fight, right? It was a unanimous decision. This man is a kickboxer who has a win over Alex Pereira. I do remember them saying that. 185. He's 36 years old, so he is not a young gentleman. Mr. Buka, I believe I've seen him before. He was on the Contender Series as well, right? Wrestle fucking fought, psychopath.
That dude, Chad Hanekom. Yeah, Dylan Buka is the guy who went to Notre Dame. He was a wrestler at Notre Dame, so shout out to the Irish.
I don't think the Notre Dame, though. I think it was just a...
No, but a Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Close enough. But
one of them.
Odds... Daniel Buka is a minus 142, 150 favorite, a plus 125 underdog for Cesar Almeida. I imagine, Ty, if this goes to the ground, it's probably just curtains for Mr. Almeida.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, Budka has like a lay and pray style.
Yeah.
But Almeida was taken down a couple times by Lucas Fernando in that in the Contender Series fight. He almost got subbed, but he comported himself pretty well and outstruck him easily. I don't know. 36 years old. I mean, he's probably not in his prime, right? Dylan Budka is I believe the mindless Hulk is his nickname, which I don't know. Sure, maybe that'll work. He was born in 2000, so very drastic age difference here. I'm going to stay away.
Yeah, I really would like to take a. I think this is. I don't know. I don't trust like a inside the distance or anything like that, and I don't trust that. I think Budka wins this fight. I just don't know how.
Probably a decision, I would say.
You would think, but I could see him maybe wearing this guy down. It's a 15-minute fight. Maybe he gets him out of there. I'm going to take Budka inside the distance plus 250. Why not? I'm probably not going to be watching this live anyway, so I'll just probably throw all these in and look at my thing later and be like, oh, wow, I won not one bet. That's great. That's great news. How about we go to the first fight of the night, the last fight we are going to talk about, Melissa Tanya Mullins, MTM. I know there's some people out there, against Nora Cornholio. Nora Cornholio. When's the last time we saw Miss Cornholio? She
beat Jocelyn Edwards.
Oh wow, yeah.
That fight sucked.
How could I have forgot about that banger of a fight?
Yeah.
Melissa Tanya Mullins was dominant in her win, I believe, which she really wrestle fucked the shit out of. I believe
she did get dropped though.
She did, but that was in like the first little bit, and then after that it was over. It was over. Yeah. Russian Ronda had nothing for. Russian Ronda was a fraud though, so who knows what this is? How this translates into this fight, this card. We have Melissa Mullins is minus 350 to Nora Cornholio's plus 275. This is probably a stay away from me if I can't get a good decision bet or something.
Minus 110, Melissa. Now Bovada says Melissa Dixon, so I don't know if it's Melissa Dixon, Tanya Mullins, Melissa Tanya Mullins Dixon,
MTMD. Whatever.
I got MTMD by UD, unanimous decision. I got Melissa by decision minus 110.
I'll take it with you. Why not? Mullins decision minus 120 on here. So you say you can get 110?
Yeah.
Mullins decision minus 110. Good enough for me.
Love it.
That is UFC Vegas 90 from the Apex. Enjoy the card, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't have that many picks, but we gave you enough to enjoy and figure out what you want to bet here to start off your Saturday afternoon. Ty, you said we have some news and notes to discuss.
Yeah, just a couple things. Did you see Daniel Cormier follow up the Chris Weidman and say, DC basically said that Bruno Silva flopped.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing?
How fucking insane is that?
What are we doing? These guys have fought before. I think this is, in a sense, a cover up, and for lack of a better word, for Chris Weidman. Like, they're all just trying to make it like they love Chris Weidman, which I understand. You guys probably have all known this guy forever. He seems like a good guy outside of this event, and he's had a rough time. I understand all that. The guy, he's wrong. He's wrong. He should not have won that fight the way he did. He poked the guy in the eye twice in the span of 3 seconds. What are we talking about that guy flopped? Any other time, a good ref would have stopped the fight, taken a point away from Chris Weidman, and might have been a no contest on the spot because they had to wave it off. Or they probably should have taken a point no matter what because of what happened. But, it's just dumb. I hate that this discourse surrounding this has been so stupid.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate all of it, especially when DC is so, one of the biggest guys they have, one of the biggest employees, and he's commentating the fights. Like I wouldn't want to fight if he's commentating my fight after he just said I flopped after I got fucking 1-2 eye poked. No, I'm not doing that. So I think it's a joke, but we have a couple other bookings. Chuck Buffalo getting back in there against Carlos Prates.
Oh, might be time.
It might be time to fade the Chuck Buff, the Buffalo Chicken. June 8th. Thiago Moises Ludovic Klein also on that date.
Okay.
That's gonna be a banger fight.
Fight.
I don't know where it's gonna be. Maybe DC, maybe somewhere else, but they don't have a location yet. JJ Aldridge, Veronica Hardy. It's gonna be May 11th in St. Louis. That card doesn't look great, but Nico Price getting back in there with Jeremiah Wells. So I don't know. Jeremiah Wells hits hard. I don't know if I like that for Nico Price. Yeah. That's June 1st. UFC 302, which looks not great.
Isn't
Still got
that
some time, but
in Newark?
It is, and it doesn't look good. So they're coming back to Jersey, and they're coming back with a vengeance, I guess. Renat Fakhretdinov and Nicholas Dalby are getting in there for the Saudi Arabia card in June. That should be a good test for Renat. Dalby just, exposed one Bonfim brother, so we'll see what we got next. Bruno Ferreira. We got a layout for him. He's getting Dustin Stoltzfus June 8th. So let's get back in that winning column and get a nice little knockout, Mr. Hulk. Tisha Torres, now Tisha Pennington, is fighting Tabitha Ritchie in St. Louis.
Wow.
Tagir Ulanbekov, Alex Perez, that fight is off. Mateus Nicolau, Manel Kopp, that fight is off.
Yep.
So now Alex Perez will fight Mateus Nicolau, Manel Kopp. It looks like his bones
his
aren't
DNA.
made of,
his DNA is inferior, apparently. That's his words, not mine.
Not mine either. We have a little bit of boxing this weekend. Richardson Hitchens.
Wait, before you go into that, we didn't really talk about Hamzat Chimaev and Whitaker getting made for that June 22nd, I believe, date. Which that's fascinating. Who would you pick off the rip? Just 2 months out, 3 months out, whatever. What is your gut telling you who to pick there?
I'd probably go Chimaev.
You think he's just going to have his way with him?
Yeah, I think it might be the end of the road for
Whitaker,
for our boy. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think it's true.
I don't know. I mean, with it being a 5-round fight, if he can survive that first little onslaught, then maybe. But I don't know. I don't know how really great Whitaker's takedown defense is. I think it's fine, but he may be just in over his head with that matchup, and I guess we're going to see. I can't believe I just saw Bo Nichols a minus 2,500 favorite against Cody Brundage. That's insane. But I just wanted to point that out. But I'm looking for odds in the future to see if they have plus 140 for Robert Whitaker that night. That's already lined up here, and there's no really other odds to kind of discuss. But no, I'm sorry. Go ahead to the boxing element of what we were going to talk about.
We have not much this weekend, but we do have a nice little boxing card. I believe it's a DAZN coming from the Fountain Blue, which I just don't know where it is. Oh, it's in Vegas. Gustavo Lemos, an undefeated Argentine fella. El Electrico. Mr. Electric, I guess. He's fighting Richardson Hitchens, the undefeated prospect from Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? They're fighting at 140. 140 is just a wealth of talent. There's so much talent in the 135, 140, 147 range. Richardson Hitchens undefeated. I think he's like 26. So that'll be a good fight. Diego Pacheco, one of the top prospects at 168, will be also taking. Will be on the. I think he's the co-main. He's about 6'4", 6'5". He's fighting from LA. He's one of the top Mexican American prospects out there. He's fighting an undefeated fellow who just started boxing a couple of years ago. Funny enough. The amazing Sean McCalman. My girl Sky Nicholson, one of the better female boxers. She's 9-0. She's going to be on this card as well. Nothing really else happening in that sense. Maybe Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence get the next. Maybe they fight. I guess if Fundora doesn't fight, if Fundora fights Spence, he's going to get stripped because Crawford is the mandatory, but Crawford isn't with PBC, so they're not going to work together. All right. So now, if he doesn't get the fight, then Fundora has to vacate, and then Crawford's mandatory is Josh Kelly. Nobody wants to see that. So, as the world turns in the boxing world, it's always
boxing finds a way to fuck themselves, man. It's
so crazy. Tim Zoo's probably out for a couple months with that gash on his forehead and his head, so that's going to suck for him. But Danny Garcia, Arislandi Lara, that could be next. We have Emmanuel Navarrete back May 18th. That's going to be a banger against Sergey Baranchek. May 18th. Yeah, Eddie Hearn wants to do Pitbull Cruz versus Subriel Matias. That would be all action. That would be all action at 140. So we'll see. There's a lot of fights that are starting to get made and starting to matriculate. This summer's going to be huge for boxing. So not much to talk about right now, but I'm definitely excited.
It's on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen, and that is where we leave you. The Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the fights. Enjoy your life. My name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone, and as always, stay out of the DMs, keep your hands up, and have a good day.